8,
7,
6,
5,
4,
3,
2, 1.
And we are live, Skywalkers.
Woo!
All
Live.
right. We're going to
Super
be
cool.
bringing on some very special guests in just a few seconds.
That's right. Looks like Pierre Kelly.
Pierre Kelly is in the house.
Yeah. Awesome.
And then Andrew and Phil, we do edit, so don't worry about if you mess something up or it's like, wait a minute, that's not what I meant to say. It's
yeah.
Let's go and bring him up. There you go.
Come on up,
Yeah, there's
Hi, everybody.
house.
Yeah, so like I was saying, if you were saying if you say something, like, oh wait, hold on, I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say it this way. We edit, so don't worry about it.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We mess up all the time.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
That wasn't Han Solo. What have I done?
Yeah, but we are live right now, and we are very excited to talk to you guys. So
Yes, thank
We're
you again
super
for having
thrilled
us
to
on
be
the
here.
show.
All right,
Mhm.
so now let's should we start? Let's start recording.
yeah,
Or let's,
okay,
let's start the big show because we got a lot of show to go through.
that's true.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so we had planned on like 4 hours. So if you guys are good for 4 hours,
Yeah, for sure. What do I have going on tonight?
Just flipping through my notepad. It's like, do I have 4 hours of material?
Exactly.
Keep it loosey goosey.
All right, so I am
Recording? All
over
right,
here.
let's
Slate it.
oh, I need a microphone.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
There we
It's
go.
not like I've been doing this for 10 years. All
right.
right. So then let's go ahead and start the actual proceedings.
Okay. All right, guys. So off stage.
Ah! Ah!
All right. Oh, and you slated it. Yeah. Okay.
I did. All right. So anyone who comes in here will just have to jump right in.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, here we go. Imagine an alternate universe where another set of podcasters were also breaking down classic comics. Well, that universe just collided with ours.
We are so excited to have Andrew Kilpatrick and Phil Oberholzer of the podcast This Is Getting Graphic to help us break down this second Star Wars annual.
Hey, Andrew and Phil.
Greetings, folks.
Hello, how are we doing tonight?
We are doing great, and we are so excited to have you. We knew when we saw your podcast show at Houston Comicpalooza where you broke down a classic Marvel comic. Sarah and I said, we got to have these guys on our show. We got to have them and their
thank you.
wackiness.
And their wacky energy, right?
The
Yeah.
wackiness is a good word for what we do. I will say that.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it is.
So tell us about what you do. Tell us about your podcast. This Is Getting Graphic.
So our show, This Is Getting Graphic, is, as you said, all about talking about the wildest and wackiest that comic books and graphic novels have to offer. Our show functions with me being the primary storyteller. I bring the comic onto the show, and I discuss it with Phil. We break it down. We talk about the art. We talk about the history and everything. And Phil knows absolutely nothing about the comic that I am bringing onto the show. So
That is the truth.
Yeah, so every one of his reactions totally 100% genuine.
We always wanted to do this since I love comic book media. I've always been a superhero fan, but I've never really read a lot of it. I've always grew up with like the movies and the TV shows, like, Batman the Animated Series, the Justice League show, Teen Titans, all that stuff. But I never actually sat down and read the comics. Andrew, on the other hand, has watched all those shows and has just libraries upon libraries of comic knowledge. So
you should see the shelf next to me, and that would
it's
kind of
great. It's legendary scale. And so I happened to say one day, God, I would really love to learn more about like the actual source material of this stuff. And Andrew said, well, I can help you out with that. And we went back and forth for a bit, and we noticed, like, as we were talking about stuff, we were cracking jokes and laughing a lot. And then one day we went, should we record this? And the rest kind of is history.
Pretty much, yeah. So we were also roommates in college. So like we've been looking for a project like this to do. We'd always worked really well together. So we've been looking for a project like this to do for for the longest time, and now we do it, and we do it every 2 weeks, and it's very exciting.
It's
How
true.
long- How long have you been doing the show? Like, how long is the podcast? now?
It's 2 years officially now. Oh, it's almost 2 years. July
it'll
4th will be 2 years.
July 4th, 2022 was our first episode, which was on the very first Superman story ever in Action Comics #1. So
which is a roller coaster if anyone hasn't read it. Highly recommend it. That's a bonkers story.
Yes, and
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
This is another similarity between us and you guys, because I had a deep, hardcore fascination with the Marvel comics, and she's never read them before.
I prefer
No
novels
kidding.
and books and using my imagination. It's hard for me to read a comic. I don't know, because I have to like split my time between the narration and the pictures. I can't
I get that.
put them together. Yeah. So
Yeah, and that's what I'm very hardcore, but I didn't start reading these comics until
right.
like the mid 80s, when there was so little Star Wars.
Mm.
The world
True.
was Star Wars dehydrated. So
Right.
I thought, I'll go back and read some of these comics, because I was like the kid that liked to look at the pictures or see the movies. But then I'm not sure when it really started. Where
Were you a teenager?
between us,
Oh,
where I
between
said,
us.
hey, let's break down these classic Marvel Star Wars comics. And we had a Star Wars artist named Randy Martinez come and join us.
Oh,
And I think it just kind of snowballed into something
Right.
big.
Right.
And we just kept
That's
going
cool.
on and on and on.
Yeah.
And it's just so much fun to see Sarah's firsthand reactions to these very trippy comics.
absolutely. I
whenever
will say
we-
that at this point, we have not covered any Star Wars on the show ourselves. But I keep telling Phil that there is a list which exists that has like so many stories that we're going to cover at some point.
Just that cartoon gag of like unrolling the parchment and it just hits the floor and rolls out the door. That's what I've been told the list is like.
Exactly. Yeah. So there are so many, quite a few Star Wars stories on those lists. Some of them from this very series. So yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. I have more to look forward to from this one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is definitely a way to hook you guys in. But speaking of hooking, if we were to hook someone with your show, which episode would you recommend to them first?
Oh God, first? Oh,
I think
man.
okay. So each episode is a great standalone experience. Like, you don't have to have listened to all of the other episodes in order to be able to enjoy the show. We each have our personal favorites, I know. Phil, what do you think yours is? I'm still thinking.
I don't know if I can pick just one, but I've got I think I've got like a top 2 or 3. We were just having this conversation the other day, and when we first started out, it was a little clunky when we were trying to figure out like how we wanted to get like the format down and whatnot. The episode where I think we really hit our stride and found a good formula for what we do was when we covered the comic Batman Ghosts. It was our first Halloween episode.
Ooh.
And it was Batman, without giving too much away, it's Batman being visited by a group of spirits. And Andrew pulled a very good Halloween prank on me on this one, because for a week he teed up that's like, oh, I know you love horror. I got a great horror comic for you, and it's a Batman comic. You love Batman too. And I was so like, I was all curled up in my seat, really like, I'm ready to get scared by Batman. And then things started going, and throughout the episode you hear me like, Andrew, what is this? What have you brought me? What are we reading?
It almost sounds like A Christmas Carol meets Batman.
You may have.
I mean, you said he's visited by spirits, right?
You may have just sussed out the twist right there.
Whoops.
And you got it a lot
so
quicker than Phil
funny.
did.
Literally, there is I'll give this one away since you guessed what this ends up being. There's a part in the comic where Bruce sees the spirit of his father, and Thomas Wayne is locked in chains with all these like lock boxes behind him. And that was the point where I went, Andrew, what is this? I went, that looks very similar to another ghost a lot of people know. And he's like, Oh, isn't that funny? Well, anyway, so
Jacob Marley. How funny.
Batman Ghosts is definitely one I would recommend. Another one I would recommend, I can't remember the exact name of the comic, but we covered a Spider-Man comic where Aunt May gets engaged to Dr. Octopus.
Wow.
All right, I'm looking at your list of shows right now. I'm bookmarking them.
Now,
Yeah.
is this the hot Aunt May from the new timeline?
No,
And Marissa Tomei.
No, we got the
It's-
original Marvel.
it's Grandma May.
Okay, Grandma May.
That one is one I think we really had a good flow in, and there's a part where I am like shrieking with laughter at one point where
Absolutely.
you can hear me in the background like yelling with laughter. That really got me. So that's number 2. And a third one I'd recommend is one we did very recently, which was actually a double feature where it was a Batman comic followed by the introduction of the DC hero Martian Manhunter.
Wow.
Andrew knows exactly which one I mean. The
I love that
Batman story at the
episode.
start is good. The Batman story at the start is very good. The meat of that episode, you got to stick with it till the second half because the Martian Manhunter bit, it has one of our funniest bits, I think, that has made us laugh. I think it's the hardest we've ever laughed on the show.
Absolutely.
Because there's a whole, like, I can't describe it without saying how fun it was. But as a lot of comic people know, John Jones's main weakness is fire. So we have this whole running joke of things just exploding around John Jones. And it's like, yeah, he walks out to his car and the car just bursts into flames. And we were laughing a lot during that. So that's my other recommendation.
That is a good one. That is a good one. I have one that I actually listened to really recently again, just because I wanted to hear it again. It is an issue of Marvel Team Up, which was basically the concept of this book was it was usually Spider-Man teaming up with a bunch of different Marvel heroes. But this one was a little bit different because they decided to team Spider-Man up with the original cast of Saturday Night Live.
What?
Yes, absolutely. So it's basically like there's this whole supervillain plot going on backstage involving John Belushi, and Spider-Man is like working to stop them, while at the same time there's this whole show going on stage with Stan Lee as the host of Saturday Night Live that evening.
In case we like meta humor up in here.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Oh, that's a great one. That's a great that episode. I just listened to it again recently. It still really holds up, and it's still there's some bits in there that still make me laugh really hard. So that would be one of mine.
A great creative twist there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
They make it work. Like it for a majority cast of non-superpowered individuals. They make the story work. It had my attention the whole time.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's so much fun. Like,
And
there's
we
so
really
much
do run-
insanity to be found in not only classic, but also we've done some modern comics from both Marvel and DC. There's still some weird stuff that happens, and it's so wonderful. We have a great time with it.
Speaking of team-ups, I'm sorry if this is dragging on way longer than we originally anticipated. I've got 2 more recommendations that I'll make super quick that are a pair of team-ups. The first one is the DC character Jonah Hex meeting up with, I'm not making this up, Yosemite Sam from the Looney Tunes.
That's awesome.
For this incredible Western adventure that is actually really compelling and really interesting as we went through it. I say multiple times in the episode, I say, why does this work? This shouldn't work. Why is this so good?
Yeah.
And the other one that really got me that I think is one of the coolest books we've ever read is Venom from the Spider-Man mythos teaming up with Conan the Barbarian. It's awesome.
See, now, even if anyone doesn't know these characters,
Right.
your affinity for the subject matter and your energy is very infectious.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm a big sucker for 80s action movies. Like I love stuff like Clint Eastwood and like Kurt Russell, Escape from New York, stuff like that. The Venom Conan crossover is just my 80s action movie love come to life because it's full of like really cool one-liners and explosions and dudes like fighting each other, and I'm just sitting there the whole time going, "This is the best book ever." So yeah, that was really fun to do.
Yeah, that's a good one. Those are all great ones.
All right, now I got like 16 of your shows bookmarked.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry if I was rambling there a lot.
No, it's always good to listen to a new, fresh podcast.
Yeah.
So this
Oh,
is
yeah,
great.
absolutely.
All right, now let's let the wackiness begin. I think it's already begun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Continue,
We haven't even
I
got to the
should say,
story yet.
by breaking down this second of 3 king-sized Star Wars annuals.
That's right.
Now, we had covered the first annual back in 2021. That was like, what, 10 years ago, was it?
Oh my God. I
It
know,
feels
right?
like 2021. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I don't
long
even know where I
ago.
was.
And we did that with Star Wars origami author Chris Alexander. Now, these
that's cool.
annuals, these annuals are one-shot comics doubling the size of the original issues. So instead of 18 to 19 pages, let's do some math. They're about 38, 39 pages.
Oh, okay.
That's
Nice,
Double
more
the
Star
size.
Wars.
That's a thick book.
Yeah.
Now,
That is a
this-
book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is a book you'd find in like the library under like in like the Stephen King section. That thick.
Oh yeah.
Now, this annual fits right in between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi and features Han Solo. So at this point, the main Star Wars series has not featured Han for over a year
Right.
since he's still frozen in carbonite. And
That was going to be my question. In between those two movies, isn't Han like a rock? Like,
Yeah.
is it
Yeah.
39 pages of him just
of him like
an easy book to make?
We'll just cut back to you, Han. Han, what do you think?
Good take, Han.
Now,
At
this
some point, Jabba's just like, please stop looking at him, and shoves the camera away.
So of course, this was a chance for Marvel to cash in on Harrison Ford because he was still hot off of Raiders of the Lost Ark. So
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, he's still hot, but this is Harrison.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, as we break down these classic Marvel Star Wars comics, I share memories of reading these issues as a kid. Who am I kidding? Looking at the pictures when I was a kid, and like, get you caught up with these characters and situations that every Star Wars fan must know. Because as we've noted in the past, there are several connections and parallels to the current comics, the films, the novels, and I believe it is here in this issue where we start to see the origins of one of the most famous Star Wars quotes.
I also have to say that
Ooh.
in this issue,
Mhm.
I'm the one coming up with most of the Fatum fast facts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
cool.
Yeah.
Which is
that's-
unusual.
That's where we pause and we give a little behind the scenes
Yeah.
information on things.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I haven't read your notes. You haven't read my notes. So I'm very, very intrigued by this.
Yes. I'm
And
excited.
I'm excited to hear what you guys have got.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm ready to learn more. I learn so much every time we do our show, and I'm really excited to learn more things from a brand new perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of perspective, so I'm reading these comics for the first time, like you guys too, right? You're reading this one for the first time? Okay.
Yeah, he's read it. I've never read it before. so I'm
I
getting his
prepared
take
for
on
it like I
things.
did for an episode of our show where I actually read it. Phil did not. So
Okay, perfect. All right. And then I also have my artistic thoughts, and then I love comparing the different styles that the various artists bring to these series.
You're very good
Oh,
at that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
yeah.
All right. So, shall we get into it?
Yeah.
Let the force be with us.
Let's go now. Let's read a summary
Oh, okay. You got
of this
it.
issue. Shade shine. And
All
that's a very hard word to say because whenever I want to say it, I always want to say shade sign. Shade.
Oh, yeah.
Shade shine.
Shade shine.
All
Shade,
right.
shade shine.
I feel so bad for these monks. Like this escalator feels steep.
All right, first of all, here's the summary. So Luke Skywalker, Lando Calrissian, and C-3PO evade Imperial stormtroopers when they duck inside a palace containing a giant golden statue of Han Solo.
Oh
rep-
no.
The rebels are puzzled until Rove Vetter Pin appears, declaring that Solo is the savior of the planet Ventuine. He activates a recording of Solo's voice, which recounts the story of how Solo saved the planet. Solo and Chewbacca were traveling to Ventuine to deal in Sansana spice. When Solo is run out of the cantina when he is labeled a supporter of the Satab, he saves Tiris Chrysala, and she is the consort to the Satab. Solo is brought back to the Satab's palace as a hero, where he discovers that the Satab rules the planet through the use of a stone known as the Shade Shine.
All together now. Shade Shine.
Shine.
Because of his heroics, Solo is placed in line to take the title of the Satab. Will he be the new ruler? And at what cost? Why is there a giant gold statue in the middle of this palace? And where's Chewbacca during all this?
Oh,
Han does not need this for his ego. This is just going to inflate his ego way bigger than it already is. They made a statue of me.
Yes. Well, he doesn't know it yet, apparently.
True.
So we'll see.
He's a rock.
All right, so this Star Wars Annual 2 was released on August 17th, 1982.
So raise your hand if you were born at this point.
Anybody else in the Sky Chat? There's like nearly 40 of you. Let us know. Let us know what you guys are. Were you born in 1982? I was just born.
After?
Yeah.
All right, this was written by David Michelini, artwork by Carmen Infantino, Rudy Nebris, and George Roussos, and the cover art is by Carmen Infantino and Rudy Nebris.
All right.
Which I will say that I am super excited to be looking at some quality Carmine Infantino art. For those who might be unfamiliar, Carmine Infantino was a big deal artist and editor, both at Marvel and DC for a lot of this period. So it's going to be very exciting to take a look at a lot of his stuff throughout here. Yeah,
he was really involved in the first arc after the Star Wars adaptation. So it's great to see him come back.
Oh yeah.
All right, now
as much as I had to say that I'm just not familiar with artists, I will say, as someone coming at this from the first time, I'm loving. I cracked a joke about it, but this cover is really awesome. Yeah. I'm a big fan of shading work when it comes to. I'm a big fan of the use of shadows and things like that in artwork, and I love the way this is done, like color and shading wise. I love the doorway with the blackness all around it, so they're like almost silhouetted in it. I love the oranges and the yellows and reds. I love the way like the lines on the monks' faces make these dark shadows. It's really compelling to see.
So now, Phil, if you were a kid and you saw this on the spinner rack, is this something that you would pick up?
I think so. I think my first of all, I'd be like, oh, Han Solo. He's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. And I'd be like, wait, who's that girl he's with? That's not Leia. And then I'd see these monks and go, these guys look creepy. Why are they all floating? And then, I would definitely want to know what's going on with this.
Although I will say, whoever this girl is, it appears that she shops at the same store as whoever goes shopping for Jabba the Hutt's costumes. So that looks very similar to that metal bikini from Return of the Jedi.
She did make a second stop, though, to pick up those green high heels with it, though.
Oh, yeah.
She pulls them off well.
I'm not one for fashion, but I don't think that whole outfit goes together. Those shoes don't tie in with anything. All right, now Andrew, what is your opinion on this cover art? And for those Skywalkers who are not watching, just listening, let me just describe this. Han Solo, he strikes a heroic pose with blaster in hand, a scantily clad female hanging on his side.
Typical.
She is she has got her hand somewhere. And there seems to be several floating monks inside of this darkened room. There's not even dialogue, not even an issue title. It's just a lot to be strung together with your imagination.
Right? Yeah, there is no words on here. That's very unusual for a Star Wars Marvel comic cover.
Yeah. So a lot of no, go ahead, Phil.
I was making another dumb joke. I was gonna say, is this how Force users sleep? Is this good for their backs?
Have you guys been seeing The Acolyte?
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Master Torben. Yeah.
Okay, so there's another parallel.
Yeah.
There we go.
So I will say what I like about this cover is it also strikes kind of a parallel with those old like science fiction pulp stories that they used to, they used to have a lot of covers like these in like, the 40s and 50s kind of sci-fi magazines where like, you've got this person standing heroically. You've got this admittedly scantily clad woman and you've got all this weird stuff going on all around them and stuff like that. So that's what it kind of reminds me of here. And they were eye-catching enough for the 40s and 50s. It's eye-catching enough now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what these monks are doing? They're planking.
There. Oh,
We're doing the new TikTok craze.
pulling out a reference from 2010.
Yeah, that's kidding. And the only reason I
Hashtag
remember that
force plank.
reference is because of The Office, when they did that whole cold open of planking. Okay.
Yeah, but these monks are taking it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't need
Seriously.
no plank. We are the planks.
I really want a series of Jedi making viral videos now.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, Skywalkers, if you're watching this cover, if you're watching this right now, please share in the comments what you think of it.
All right, Sarah, what do you think of this cover?
Okay, so when I first saw this cover, the image that came to my mind was the Star Wars Hildebrandt poster,
Oh,
which
Oh,
contains
yeah.
Luke holding that
Oh.
lightsaber straight up, and then Leia on the side with the blaster. And here, I mean, they're kind of like switched, but Han is kind of in the Leia role, sort of. I don't know. Like, to me, that's what it reminded me of.
I
And
can
I
see
think
the
it's
composition
because of the
going
doorway too.
Mhm. Yeah.
The doorway on that cover really made me think of that. So yeah, I like that. And I feel like those artists must have been smoking something because
What? What?
I see Darth Vader in the sky.
Sarah, this is the 80s. People didn't do that then.
Oh, that's
No.
right. Yeah, they just sniffed stuff. Okay. All right.
Now you're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the 80s.
But yeah, these monks are just defying gravity. I really like the colors, like you said, Phil. Those colors really pop to me.
Yeah.
And again, Andrew, I have to echo those green shoes. That's a bold choice.
That
Yeah.
is a choice.
Yeah, these pointy green heels. It's very out of place in the Star Wars universe, but she is rocking them.
Yeah.
You know what? Is this the first time we're ever seeing stilettos in the Star Wars?
I think so, because usually they wear boots.
Yeah.
I was
Right?
gonna say,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
like the first time. I don't know if I can think of a Star Wars character off the top of my head that wears like high heel shoes.
Right. Yeah, Richard, we'd have to go back to the comic of our previous episode with those
Amazing.
girls. Yeah,
Oh,
Amazing.
okay.
But then the girls in the blue women, right? In the cantina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
We
what
never
kind of
saw their
footwear they
feet.
were- Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, that's
So
true.
we didn't
Never
see
saw
their
their
feet. It didn't happen.
Fair, no proof.
Exactly.
All right. Now, for me,
Yes.
I got to say, I'm kind of differing with all of you over
Oh.
here.
Okay.
Because of all 107 issues of the classic Marvel Star Wars comics and the 3 annuals all tied together, I think this is my least favorite cover art.
Oh no.
Really?
I know.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but nothing about floating monks grabbed me when I saw this on the spinner rack at the store.
Mhm.
Yeah, to me, these look like Kojaks, all surrounded, floating there, surrounding Han Solo. So
Not even the girl?
no, I just couldn't get there. I just couldn't get there. And if they were like floating alien monks, maybe that would have intrigued
Oh.
me.
Yeah,
you
you
might-
like
This
aliens.
there.
does just look kind of like Charles Xavier wearing a Snuggie and walking up a wall. So I get where
Yeah.
you're coming, and we're Peter Pan shoes now that I'm looking a little closer.
Yeah. So
Oh my
for you,
gosh.
it's Xavier. For me, it's Kojak. And I always thought Kojak was very boring, a boring cop show. So
Oh, yeah.
I saw these. I thought,
And now
oh,
there's 6 of them.
yeah, yeah, and more. And I speaking of the girl, I thought Marvel was playing it really safe with her and all her high heels and these little tiny mermaid shells over her chest. Now, I know most of the Star Wars audience was about 13 at this time, and Marvel wanted to sell more copies. All right, I get to hand it to them. They knew what they were doing, but I just felt like this was pandering when they didn't need to.
I will
And-
say, I am kind of just noticing now that the lady does have this. She's looking at Han, and she does have this look on her face, like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Stand back, I'll protect you," and she's like, "They're not doing anything."
You know, in this day and age, when you see a celebrity taking a picture with a female fan, they have to have their hand hovering above their shoulder. Look, Han is way ahead of the curve here. He's like, I do not want a lawsuit. My hand is out where everyone can
It's
see
right
it.
here.
I am not putting my hand on anything where her hand is like all over his chest. We don't know where her backhand is.
No, we don't.
No.
yeah.
Han does not want a lawsuit, okay? So Han, you're thinking, okay?
That's why he's making that face. He's like, "Stop it! We're gonna get in trouble."
Yeah,
With
not
these
you,
monks.
me. So, one of these monks is gonna put this on TikTok, and I'll be canceled.
Oh,
I'm riding high on
Stuck to
Raiders
fourth
of the
plank.
Lost Ark. I can't afford this right now.
All right. Well, Richard, you posted this picture on Facebook, and so we have some comments.
Yes,
from-
we asked all of our Skywalkers
Yes.
to weigh in.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So here we go. So Patrick Izzo said, "How did Sofia Vergara get on the cover with Han?"
Do you know what this means, Sarah?
What?
It means whenever you read a line by Crisala,
Oh,
you
no.
gotta read it
Oh,
like a
no.
Colombian.
Challenge
I
accepted.
do?
There's a lot of times where she's got to speak and to forward the
God.
plot, and you need
Can
to
I
read
can I
that.
default to my Russian accent because that's what I got?
I'm sorry. Hold on, Andrew, Phil, what do you say? They say no. They
I
say
say, are
Mhm.
Russians from Colombia?
I don't know.
I mean, some might be. I don't know.
no. All right, Rex Gordon, he weighs in and says, yes, I was so happy to see Han on the cover, even if the art was a bit wonky. And a hot girl too? He was still frozen in carbonite, so I knew this had to be a flashback. And by the way, did Jabba use the same designer for Leia's bikini?
Ah!
There you
There we
go.
are.
Great minds think alike. The old guys floating around were very creepy. And why is Han trying to shoot at them? Who cares? It's Han. Make mine Marvel.
Nice.
It does
good.
look like Han's
That's
like
good.
taking pot shots at him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
One's floating like above him, so he's not aiming in the right spot.
I don't know that I think too much of your target practice room here, scantily clad woman.
Nice.
Don't worry,
All
they're all
right.
Kojak.
See, it's catching on. It's catching on.
All right, Brian Babcock says, "Is that supposed to be Leia in her metal bikini?"
Yes, you were all pulling there.
Mhm.
Mhm. All right, Matt Schott says Star Wars crosses over with Kung Fu, and Han discovers the Sholon monks floating in the monastery.
Oh my god, I would love a comic where Han learns kung fu. That'd be so cool.
Oh, all right, and then Carlos Esteban Munoz says, "So those guys in the red robes, they're the anti-life day monks. They're all about Death Day." And they're
Okay.
I like that one.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. So, and they all go around doing bad reenactments of possum fake deaths. Carlos has quite the imagination.
Yes,
Thank
he
you,
does. See,
Carlos.
we all see something different.
Yeah. Now, Skywalkers, if you are commenting, I don't know if we're seeing your comments. We're apparently not. So, but yeah, keep
And
commenting.
sometimes
if
we
you
see them,
like.
sometimes we don't.
Yeah. All right.
If they're on that X thing, we don't really see them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Sometimes we
yeah.
don't. But hey, my mom's coming in.
Oh.
Happy Sunday night, everyone. She says.
Hey, hello.
Sarah's mom is a huge Star Wars classic Marvel fan.
Oh, good,
that's
good.
awesome.
Yeah, she's like, oh, way ahead of you here. All right, now let's get into the story.
Yes.
All right, sit tight, everyone. Now, on the planet Ventuine, Luke Skywalker, Lando Calrissian, and C-3PO are pursued by Imperial stormtroopers. C-3PO apologizes for his lack of mobility since his circuits weren't
Oh.
designed for hair-breadth escapes.
Oh,
Hair-breadth
buddy.
escapes. Another words that are hard to say together, hair-breadth escapes.
Yep.
The three duck into a building, and suddenly Lando is wearing Batman's cape.
Now, are you referring to this bottom?
Look at that bottom left-hand
Yeah.
panel.
Yeah.
Look at how Batman's got those. What do you call them? Those.
Yeah, like
Scallops.
the ridges.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Scallops, ridges.
That's what he's wearing right there.
yeah.
I need more scenes of Lando doing like the dramatic cape swish.
Well,
He's
Billy
got the
D.
perfect
Billy
cape
D.
for it.
Williams was in the original 1989 Batman with Michael Keaton, so
That's
clearly he
true.
stole that off the set.
Oh.
Before I go to Ventuine, I'm taking this.
Yeah, this is gonna serve me well.
I also,
Amazing.
it took me a second to realize that Luke and the top right panel. It took me a second to realize that Luke was turning around, firing at the stormtroopers. Because when C-3PO apologizes for his mobility, I was about to be like, well, yeah, you apologize for your mobility. You're running in the wrong direction. But no, Luke is turning around, not C-3PO.
Oh,
Also,
okay.
I find it very interesting that Luke has apparently changed back into his farmer's ensemble
Yeah.
from Tatooine at this point, because like he had been wearing a lot of things that weren't moisture farming chic at this point in the Star Wars series. I think he would have switched to like either the Cloud City brown or like the black from Return of the Jedi. You know, not this is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I believe that they're gonna put all of these original characters in their Kenner Star Wars outfits because at this stage, all the kids were playing with the figures, and we could identify. Okay, that's Luke Skywalker. He's wearing the white tunic and the brown pants.
Right.
An easy identifier.
Okay.
All right, now this is
Good
when
call.
Luke takes a beat and explains to the reader that they are there to investigate rumors of an incredible power source.
Yeah. And then they run into this orange entrance right here, this bottom left panel, and it's very similar to the cover art. So to me, this is foreshadowing.
Yeah. Now
Oh,
I can
yeah.
ask our East Coast friends over here, what color is that again?
That looks like orange red to me.
Okay,
And
Andrew.
it's orange.
Yeah, I see it as more of a red, actually, in all honesty.
Okay, but say the word orange.
Orange?
Oh, come on, guys! You're
See?
really-
Right.
Okay, this
They
is
say it
a
right.
little tangent here because from the East Coast we say orange. She
What the heck is
says
that?
orange.
It's orange.
Orange is not a
Oh.
word.
Oh, I will say I do hit both syllables orange, but I have heard the like orange where like the A is taken out.
See,
Right.
now I thought you guys would back me up with the orange enunciation.
Sigh.
No, sorry, buddy.
First syllable is what you use to move a rowboat, or
That's right.
You know what? I'm gonna cut this part out anyway.
It's live. We can't cut
you're
it out.
edited out of the show.
Oh man! All right, now look at this bottom panel. Looks like Luke is aiming his blaster at 3PO's head.
You're gonna tell
Yeah.
me where those other droids are.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe this will help you with your hair breadth escapes. I can't say those two words together. Hair breadth escapes.
I think
Run
you're supposed to say
faster.
Hair's breadth.
I don't know.
That's what it says
Hair's
right here in the
breadth.
dialogue.
What do you guys
Yeah.
say? Skywalker's in the Sky Chat. What?
Well, it says it right
Hair's
there.
breadth.
I'm saying
I
how
know.
it's written out there.
I know.
All right. Now, Luke hopes they don't run into any more surprises. Cue the surprise.
Planking monks? Oh!
A giant glittering gold statue of Han Solo.
And Lando says exactly what I said. He doesn't need this for his ego. Melt it down before he finds it.
Yeah. All right. For those of you who aren't watching this right now, I'll explain the splash page here. So we get this great long shot and high angle of a temple in ruins. There's piles of rubble everywhere, crumbling columns and rockwork. And there's several cobwebs that are featuring prominently in the space. It's really cool. Yeah. And all the ground is these cool tone purples, blues, muddy brown. But standing in the center is this gigantic statue of Han Solo. It's wrought in gold. It's very shiny, like it's brand new. It's almost gold white is what they have here. And then at the very far foreground bottom, we see 3PO, Luke, and Lando standing dumbstruck. And Luke says, it's Han Solo.
Well, look at this
Thanks for
lighting
clearing
scheme.
that up. We don't know any other Hans.
Yeah. Did you mean Han Jones? Were you talking about Han Ford? Han Book? Han Alfalfa?
Han Book. Oh my God, that's so
Han
funny.
Han
Book is
Felfa?
good.
Also, they did him in this great Superman pose here. So like,
Yeah.
oh, this is
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah,
had fun with this.
He should have had his arms crossed, like
Mhm.
the Han Solo we see in all the publicity stills.
Yeah, but this looks
They never
really
get
cool.
the nose right.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
All right, now you have a Fatum fast fact
I
here.
do. It's time for Fatum
Ooh.
Fact. So this is something that is connecting with the Star Wars universe now as we know it. And I feel like this setting may have inspired a High Republic novel, Into the Dark by Claudia Gray. And
cool.
This is really cool because this whole novel takes place on an abandoned space station that is overrun with plant life, which we later learn is sentient plant life that's bad.
Mm,
But
yeah,
but it also, like here, I'll show you, there's some comics here. So there's some comics that also take place in the same Maxine station, and it looks very similar. And within the
Oh.
station itself, there are these statues, these ancient statues as well. Now, they're not statues of Han Solo. They're
Oh.
statues of like ancient Jedi or Sith or something. But But what happens is they remove the statues in the novel and all of a sudden unleash the plant life, because I guess the statues were there protecting, like making, like basically harnessing the dark side so it didn't get out.
Oh,
So this means that if we
fascinating.
take out the Han Solo statue here, it's going to be like The Last of Us up in here. Like everything's gonna...
Absolutely.
It's like, wait a minute, is that Pedro Pascal in there? And he's holding Grogu?
Yeah.
Dude,
So-
Han Solo versus the Mandalorian, that's the crossover I want.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I've got a bad feeling about that.
Well done.
But I was like, I like knocked me off my seat when I saw this page in the comic, because it really reminded me of my image in my head of that Amexine station from Into the Dark.
Oh yeah, it's right there.
That is
And
cool.
As we know that the authors at Lucasfilm, they'll go through some of these pages, some of these classic Marvel Star Wars comics, and take a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this.
Yeah.
So you know what? We're gonna tweet out to
Claudia
Gray.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm,
Hopefully she's on not Twitter. What's the other one now?
XYZ
No.
XLMNOP.
Yeah. Hopefully she's on some platform.
MySpace. You're thinking of MySpace.
Yeah, that's it.
there we go. You're thinking of Carrier Pigeon?
Yelling out your front door.
Yeah.
All right, now back to the story. As the three marvel in bewilderment of the statue, they are approached by a bald man in a red robe. He is Vetter Pin, a rove of the church and caretaker to the shrine.
Rove?
So if you're wondering, rove is a religious title used to denote the highest ranking members of the church on Ventuine.
That's cool. Also,
Thank you.
Andrew, you made a joke about these monks wearing Snuggies earlier. That's a Snuggie.
That is a Snuggie.
That is absolutely a Snuggie.
Oh, I think they watched the holiday special and said, "Oh, red Snuggies, that's where it's at."
Yeah, absolutely.
That is the fashion of the future.
Because at this point the special has been out.
Oh, yeah.
78. Yeah.
Now, Vetter asks them if they speak Galaxy Standard, which is odd since he's been listening to them for the last few minutes. No, we don't speak Galaxy Standard. We speak Basic, all right?
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
you're
I was
right.
gonna say the
Translate
same
that
thing.
Vetter then approaches Luke and comments that he is of the same species as their savior. Luke replies, "Han, are you kidding?"
Fair and valid response.
Very
at this point in the series.
Mhm. Now,
Wow.
Vetter explains that Han saved them from the evil rain and the deadly shade shine.
Say it again.
Shade
Shade
shine.
shine.
Shade shine curse.
Oh.
Now, Shade Shine catches the attention of Lando since that is the weapon they came looking for and asks to hear more about it. And
It's under the
Vetter,
statue.
yeah, it's right there. Vetter taps the rock base with his
Oh.
staff, and suddenly they hear Han's voice. Now, the
What?
staff works as a trigger mineral, which activates the memory stones and releases Han's voice recording as an echo. Think of this
That's
as like
cool.
podcasting in
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Wars Galaxy.
Dear Luke, Lando, and 3PO. Yeah, I knew you were going to be there. Don't ask how.
I'm all powerful. I'm the savior of Ventuine.
All right, Andrew. Andrew, you gotta read that bottom. Can you read the bottom, very bottom,
The bottom
Right,
Yeah.
right?
the dialogue.
the dialogue from Han?
You can't imagine how silly I feel talking into a rock.
I love Han Solo so much.
Yeah,
All right,
He's such a
absolutely.
grounding presence in moments like this in Star Wars. I love the moments where he sees something like Luke doing something with the Force, and he's like, this is crazy. It's like it's exactly how we would all feel in that moment.
Yeah, he's the audience. He's the viewpoint of the audience.
So good.
All right, now with this talking rock, though, there is another Fatum.
What?
Fact.
Ooh.
Yes.
What? A talking rock.
Okay, I'm going to head back to this novel, Into the Dark, again. I feel like Claudia Gray loosely based her book on this comic, at least the first part of the comic, because the funniest character introduced into this High Republic series so far has been Geode.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you. He is a Vintian, which means
No,
he is
he's a rock.
giant rock. Yes. And
That is a
what's
rock.
I really recommend you read this novel, Into the Dark. He is given this hilarious personality in the book by Claudia Gray. She writes the characters' reactions to Geode's expressions, which they can read even though he's a giant boulder, and he like randomly appears in places like and freaks bad guys out. It's the most hilarious thing.
And the funniest thing is, if you go to a Star Wars Celebration convention, there are cosplayers dressing as a Star Wars Rock.
That is so wonderful.
Yes!
Oh my
I
god.
love that. Oh, they win my gold medal.
Yeah.
What is the name of this alien race again?
Oh, so Geode is the name of this particular one, and he is a Vintian. V as in
Vintian.
Victor. Yeah, Vintian.
Like
yeah.
Ventuine, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I need to see it now. You know it's possible. Where are the Vintian Jedi?
Yeah. Oh, that would be
I
so
want a
great.
robe on that rock. I want a lightsaber wedged into a crack on the side of the rock.
Every so often in the temple, you just hear. This guy's like on his way to something or other.
May the force be with you, Master Geode. He said it back.
Well, we haven't seen the last 4 episodes of The Acolyte yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
But will this drive the fans crazy? Oh, what gender is this rock? I'm upset. I don't want anything to do with this.
They use they, them pronouns.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Okay.
It's really
Actually,
good.
one of the characters has like a crush on him, Geode, in the novel High Republic. It's so
Now you're
tongue-in-cheek.
making things up.
Oh, that's
No,
great.
It's the cutest thing. Like Claudia Gray, her writing is so great.
And
I do find it really funny that somebody it just tickles me. Somebody being in love with a giant rock and it's with a giant boulder and it's called a crush.
Yeah.
Well, clearly beauty is only stone deep.
It's not written in stone.
Oh. And right now, Han Solo is saying, "Oh, no more boulders. I don't want to be chased by another boulder.
I just got done getting chased
Enough
by
with
boulders.
the boulders, people."
This one knows the force.
All
my
right.
God.
Now, we can talk about the boulders
I
forever.
know. Yeah.
That was
Now,
good.
Han is in his recording says that he promised Vetter that he'd set their record straight as a favor and as a warning. So we now go back in time, and Han tells the tale of how he and Chewbacca had just traded a rare spice to Ventuine, and now they plan on heading into the city. And Han plans to blend in with his Indiana Jones fedora and long green cape.
They'll
Yep,
never
that'll do it.
suspect me,
So as
Chewie.
long-
I'll be too busy being disguised as a scarecrow.
Yes.
As long as people are stealing like capes from other movie sets, pretty sure he stole that off Frodo from The Lord of the Rings.
We already have time travel. He went forward to Peter Jackson, took the cape.
Yeah. Okay. Look at this next page though. Like, check this out.
Oh man! All right,
Whoa.
now
I think Scarecrow is spot on. I think Phil, did you mention
Oh, yeah.
Scarecrow?
If he only had a brain.
Yep.
Oh, now Han begins planting the taxation story seeds for the Phantom Menace and talks about digging up a good supply of Sansana so they'll be able to hire the best tailors in the galaxy. And he says, that stuff is so rare, it's been taxed out of existence. And right then and there, several Namorians' ears are perking up. Did someone say taxation? Oh, it's almost our time. He then says to Chewie that Chewie, you're gonna draw too much attention, so you need to stay behind. But I'll be back in a couple of days. I'll crack a window. Don't worry, you'll be safe.
Oh.
We'll put on your favorite tunes. We'll make sure that you're.
I left plenty of water. I left plenty of water out. You'll be good. Now Han departs the Millennium Falcon and walks to the nearest settlement. Now here he gives a small spoiler in his recording and says that if he had known what he was getting into, he wouldn't have left Chewie behind.
Oh.
I think leaving Chewie behind just seems more like a cost-cutting measure by Marvel, since they didn't have enough time to draw him for the rest of the story. And look how much money they're saving on brown ink.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
how
really
it's
could have used
expensive.
7'5" tall bodyguard for this one.
They must have got a discount on green ink though.
Oh,
I suppose.
but
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Look at Han's cape. Look at Chrysala's shoes, her
Oh,
stilettos.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Green everywhere.
I do have to say this bottom panel here. Here, let's zoom in a little bit. But
That's a
look how
shot
nice
of
that
Han
is.
trying to infiltrate Mordor.
Oh,
Yeah. So
well, you guys will bring those references. We don't know that one as well, but
this is
Oh, okay.
Fair.
that's okay.
This is a city called Goyoikin. Now, isn't
What?
that the sound you hear when an anvil falls in the Wile E. Coyote?
I was gonna say that's the
Yoikin!
sound. I was gonna say that's the sound I make when I stub my toe in the middle of the night.
Goyoikin!
I'm pretty sure I heard that sound in a Jerry Lewis movie once, like yoikin.
Isn't that the name of Ryu from Street Fighter's signature move?
Goyoik!
we all see and hear something different.
Yeah, I'm just looking. So for once, I'm looking at the pretty pictures here and not reading.
And
the
we're
words.
focusing on the sound effects when you hit somebody.
But look at this cool panel. It's like a fisheye lens view of the city. I think
Yeah.
Han got out his filters on his phone and is doing the fisheye.
Oh, so
view.
this is one of Han's Instagram photos.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Hashtag Ventuine. Hashtag love and life.
Hashtag no Wookiees.
Oh,
Oh.
no. And
No,
Chewie's
I'm
back in the
kidding.
Falcon going, damn you, Han. When you get back here, the Falcon won't be here. Now how much you laughing? Let's see how funny that is. All right, now, as Han is about to ask for directions, he catches sight of something that sets the tone for the rest of his stay. 3 thugs in loincloths holding spears march through the town. They yell at Vetter, who is crossing the street, "Out of the way, church man!" Wait, hold on, Phil. Why don't you take this line right over here?
Out of-
For Vetter?
No, out of the way, church man.
Out of the way, church man.
There you go.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah. Now, okay, what's up with this? Vetter is a good 25 feet away, so what is their problem? How slow is this guy walking? Now
That's true.
they catch up pretty quickly and say, when one of the, you call it Satab or Satab?
I say Satab.
Okay, I'll call it Satab. You already set the tone there.
Okay.
When one of the Satab guards speaks, you obey. And one of those bald-headed guards pushes him down. Everyone's bald here. Han hurries over and helps him up and asks, "Hey, do you know where the nearest watering hole is located?" He doesn't ask, "Are you okay?"
No.
Or how do you manage to land in the only puddle for miles?
Are
He
you
just
all
asks
right?
him-
I saw what those cavemen did to you.
And where's your lollipop there, Kojak? I'm sorry for all the Kojak references. I think we said Kojak more time in this show than ever before. Kojak was a 70s police show. The
Oh, okay,
bald
okay.
Telly Savalas
I keep
always had a lollipop.
forgetting this because Kojak does not sound like a police name. I don't know why.
It
Okay.
doesn't. It sounds like a camera company.
Yeah, it does. It
Oh,
does.
it's a Kojak moment.
That's so weird. All right. Well, we got red and green here, so I don't know.
Yay,
All right.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Or Life Day.
Or
Yeah,
Life
that's
Day.
true.
Yeah. Oh, it's red. It's all right. Now Han finds himself in a cantina, and who's sitting at the other end of the bar there?
In the blue
Is
jacket?
that Kingpin?
I was just thinking the same thing.
Wilson Fisk. God, his empire does stretch far.
That does. Oh my god! I never noticed that on the first read.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what? Forget Hell's Kitchen in New York. I'm going to Ventuine.
Yeah, right. There are
That's
shade
untapped.
shines there.
And of course, what do you see around the bar? Go ahead and say it. More bald-headed thugs.
More Wilson Fisks.
Yeah.
Why does Marvel not want to draw hair in this issue? I don't know.
Except for Han.
Except for Han, yeah. That's it.
And
But Han's wearing a
they,
hat.
they even
Iconic.
let Chewbacca back. No more hair for Chewbacca.
And they
either.
gave Han a hat.
Yeah.
Less hair.
How odd.
I think they're trying to say something in this issue about
Yeah.
hair. All right, now Han asks the barkeep where he can get his hands on some illicit spices like the sultana.
Real subtle there, Han.
All right. Hey, kids, look, Han's looking to score some drugs.
Yeah. How do you do, fellow kids?
Han then notices that everything went silent, and the barkeep smashes a bottle with a
Clash.
as he shouts, "Lousy Satab lover!"
I will
Now-
say, in the Star Wars universe, this is surprisingly the least violent bar interaction that Han has been a part of. At the very least, somebody didn't get their arm sliced off by a lightsaber, and Greedo didn't, and someone didn't shoot first.
Also, Han really should have known that he would be recognized as an outsider because he has hair.
Yeah, and he's wearing green.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right there. Come on, Han. Study the location, then try to blend in.
All right. Actually, Phil, why don't you read the next instead of Klesh? What's after Klesh?
Wait, hold on, wait. In case anyone's wondering
okay.
what Satab is, I had to look this up because
okay.
you can't just bypass this word. Satab is a monarch of Ventuine, or in our timeline, it's a company that produces ribbons, straps, braids, mesh, rigid or plastic or elastic.
What?
Okay, so if anyone's wondering where a Satab is, it could be a monarch or it could be a company that produces straps.
You knew they were writing this, and they had to come up with a name for the monarch. And the monarch, the writer rather, looked over, saw one of those plastic straps, and went, "Yeah."
Yeah, no one on a podcast will be looking up this in 40 years.
It binds things together like he binds these people under his tyranny.
There you go.
Yeah, oh, wait, is that product placement?
No, I'm not sponsored by Satab. No.
All right, so then now, Phil, this is your turn. Han then smashes a bottle on the barkeep's head with a
planche.
Very good.
I love the SH at the end.
That's the way I heard it in my head.
Me too.
Han then races out of the cantina with his cape flowing in the wind. The bar thugs are hot on his tail, but he tries to lose them in a crowd. The crowd is caused by Chrysala.
I say Chrysala.
Chrysala?
Because he calls her Chris later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Chrysala, we got it. Tyrus of Tyrus of Ventuine and chosen
Ventuine.
ward of the all-highest Satab.
Satab.
Now, she's being pulled in a white furred throne, and it's being pulled by a green unicorn.
Yeah, clearly.
I was gonna say she's very pretty, but I'm also a little distracted by her animal friend here.
Oh,
like that's a cool design for an alien.
Yeah, it really is. It's a really cool, the green and gold.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it looks like a unicorn because it's got like a little weird horn.
It also doesn't have hooves. It looks like it has like flippers or something.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow.
Half horse, half flipper. It's like a unicorn flipper.
It's a seahorse.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Let's end the show right here.
Thank you.
He's here all week, everybody. All right, now, Sarah.
Yes.
Why don't you go ahead and explain her outfit?
You mean Chrysala, Tyrus of Ventuine? Her outfit.
I don't dare to. So let's make it safe. And why don't you do it?
Take it away.
All right. Well, yeah. So she has on a very low-waisted, long red skirt. Yeah, think like Cher low, you know, like that low. And her boobs are held up by some gravity-defying gold rings.
Didn't Madonna wear this on tour?
I think so.
It looks like it.
And these rings aren't even attached to each other like a proper bra. They're just kind of like gravity-defying, kind of holding her breasts up.
Also, based on the coloring here, like it looks like she should be flashing us right now.
Yes.
When we flipped to this page and I first saw that panel, I really thought she was topless for a half second, and I was like, "Whoa, okay, there's things there. There's coverings."
It's very odd though, because it does look like there's just rings around her breast, not the whole. It's not covering her whole breast.
I didn't notice. Please have that noted. I didn't notice that.
Meanwhile, Han's in the crowd like, I must marry her.
Leia Organa who?
I don't know what it is. There's just something about a metal bikini.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Now on a nearby building, Vetter and another church monk, Phalef, are waiting as the throne passes, and Phalef can drop a bomb right into the smirking she-dog's lap.
Oh!
Vetter, he's not on board with the violence and wishes they could wait for the fulfillment of the foretelling, which is the prophecy that promises a being with ways and weapons far different than their own, a being who will help lift the yoke of the Satab's tyranny.
A being that will help lift me from a puddle that cavemen push me into. Wait a second!
Yes.
The prophecy was very specific on that score.
Yeah, that was weird.
But until then, they must do what they must do and assassinate members of the royal family. You know what? They push him down in a puddle. You know what? They kind of walked into this. You know what?
They have this coming.
Don't push someone in a puddle if you don't want to be assassinated, okay?
You stepped on my new shoes. I'm going to set your house on fire.
I'm pretty sure this is exactly how the French Revolution kicked off.
Yeah.
That's what I learned in school.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right, now Han sees this flipper animal, this seahorse
Yeah.
that is pulling the throne, and thinks that a good idea is to hijack the animal in front of the whole town.
Does that make sense?
Han, as established by that bar interaction, Han is never a subtle individual.
No. But from the corner of his eye, he sees the bomb being thrown off the building. He draws his blaster and shoots it in midair with a...
Shucks. No, that was
Zatch?
Shatch? Yes.
Shazatch.
Shazatch?
Shazam.
Shazatch, yeah.
Shazam.
Shazats.
Okay.
Wow, suddenly that bomb
like
turns
that.
into Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
It's just a bomb with a little cape and a lightning bolt on it.
And a boy becomes a man.
I
A guard.
saved my girlfriend.
A guard comes at Han with his spear,
Uh-oh.
ready to strike, when Chrysella declares Han a hero since he just saved her from the insurgents.
Also, he has hair.
And he has hair, so hey, you know what? He's a hero.
Finally, I'm not the only one.
We Harrys gotta stick together.
Yeah.
Han is baffled, but goes along with it, which of course he's going to.
Well, yeah.
She pledges her undying gratitude and eternal protection of the Satab's hand. Han gets in her very comfy throne and settles in.
I'm sorry, Han is surprised at the fact he got called a hero. He shot a bomb out of the air and saved a royal consort. Of course he's gonna get called a hero.
And he helped to blow up a Death Star.
Yeah. All in a day's
Look at his
work,
resume.
I guess.
All right, then now she says, Chrysalla says,
My handsome rescuer and I will get to know each other better. A lot better.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Oh boy. And Han is like, marry me. I never want to leave.
Han's settling back on the little on her
white
chase
fur.
lounge. Yes.
He's
throne.
certainly ready for something. I don't know what
Yeah.
that something is necessarily, but
and right now
Andrew, take notes. To live this kind of life, as they're showing us, all we have to do is shoot a bomb.
we
That's right.
see one of her hands. Don't know where the other
Whoa!
hand is. Come on.
Whoa!
Hey, come on. Stop that. Who's saying this? Come
Why are you
on.
paying
What
attention
happened
to
to
her
our
hands so much?
No. What happened to our PG rating here? It's not me. It's them. Blame them.
Oh,
With Carmen Infantino.
No, we didn't make the art. We didn't draw it.
That's true.
Vetter and another church monk watch as Han rides off with Chrysella. For a moment, he almost thought Han was one in the For a moment, he almost thought that Han was the one in the foretelling, but the other churchman, who looks a lot like Robert De Niro. Say that I'm wrong. Say that I'm wrong.
He really
no,
does.
you are not.
He looks like Robert De Niro, and he says that if he stands between them and their goal, he will die. All right, which one of us can do the best Robert De Niro impression?
Not me.
Oh God.
This one might be on you. I can try, but I think you do it better than
I really
would.
don't. I don't know. Let me try it.
You may be a spy on us.
He must die. No, I'm not there. It's not coming.
Yeah, not as easy as it looks.
It is. It's like a subtler voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have no clue.
Oh yeah, now we got to retcon this.
Uh-oh.
So Sarah's got to loop all her lines
No.
into Sylvia Vergara's accent.
I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
I'm
You
the
thought we
best
forgot
girl.
about that, didn't you?
I'm the one who brought it up. All right, I can't do it.
All right, you know
I
what?
can't.
Chrysala's voice has already been set.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
I will say
Roll on.
if she can't do a Colombian accent, we can't do. If she can't do a Sofia Vergara impression, we can't do a Robert De Niro impression.
Yeah.
Maybe a spy, or unwittingly innocent. However he is, stand between us and our absolute goal.
Possible.
Yes, that's
Okay,
the best I
alright.
got.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Better than I could do. So yeah.
Thank you. It's just the face. It's the.
Yeah, exactly. The
Mhm.
eyebrows. All right, then Han and Chrysala get to the palace. Han is amazed to see every elite mucky muck gathered around the table, set for a feast fit for a king. At the head of the table is the Satab, who calls for Han and Chrysala to sit beside him.
Nice.
Now, do we all need to stand? We good? Okay, we'll
Why?
sit down. I'll sit.
Oh.
It's the Satab.
Oh,
We
okay.
all should-
Oh
all
yeah.
standing.
Yes.
All right, now
Your Majesty, Highness, Holiness.
Satab, where can I get some of those ribbons and braids that I heard so much about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have I
Alright.
mentioned I saved her life? That seems reward worthy.
All right, I wanna note here in the top panel, you see this door again. That it's like that
Ooh.
foreshadowing door that you see at the top of the episode. At
Yeah.
the top.
Yeah,
The
the
cover.
the cover art.
The cover art. I was like, huh, that's interesting. It's not red yet. It's not orange or orange.
Orange. It's orange.
whatever.
Okay.
It's not orange, but it's there.
Okay.
So something's happening there.
Okay. Something's
Okay.
gonna go on. There's some foreshadowing.
Yes.
All right. Now, the Satab says that since Han risked his life to save Chrysala, then he will have the best in food, drink, and entertainment.
Oh.
Oh, we
Now, what-
stream the FIFA games here.
I'm not sure that's the kind of entertainment that Chrysala is thinking, because look at that smirk on her face.
Who? Well,
She's thinking
least-
something else.
as long as she's into it, we're all about consent on This Is Getting Graphic.
Absolutely, absolutely.
She looks. What is up with her eyebrows? I just have to say they kind of go
They
up.
are
Right.
pretty
And then they
on
keep on
fleek.
going up.
I
They're
must
Vulcan.
say.
Yeah.
They're Vulcan
Yes!
eyebrows.
There you go. I love that.
All right. Just then, Phalov is brought in and shouts that they can torture him, but he will never renounce his beliefs for them. But the Satab doesn't want to torture him. He just wants to shake his hand. He puts one hand on a red medallion hanging around his neck and shakes Phalov's hand. Phalov screamed once. What that?
He screamed once, but that's all he had.
Oh, okay. Phalov screamed once, but that's all he had time for.
Oh.
The narration continues because seconds later, he lay on the floor, muscles slack, teeth yellow, skin drawn and cracked like cheap parchment. A boy of maybe 18 years old, dead of old age.
Oh God, he got
Whoa.
Shang Tsung'd.
Oh,
What's
Your
that?
soul is mine.
Oh.
Oh, what
See,
is-
this it brings me. What's that from?
Oh, that's Mortal
Shang
Kombat.
Tsung. That's the video game Mortal Kombat. There's a character in it
Oh.
named Shang Tsung. Whenever he beats an opponent, his thing is he like sucks their soul out of their body. That's like his finishing move. And he
Oh,
always
man.
his catchphrase is him going, "Your soul is mine," as he pulls it out of them.
That's
And that's-
amazing.
That's kind of what they look like whenever he's done. They're like all shriveled and old looking.
My mind went to Last Crusade.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
drinks
he
things
chose poorly.
Poorly. Exactly. Yeah.
And Han's just sitting there like, it's almost like I've seen this in another life.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of why my
Wearing
mind
this
went there.
hat.
All right, now as guards drag Phalov off, the narration reads, and those slugs sitting around the table just cackled and clapped like somebody told an off-color joke.
And I
That
see
dude-
that guy at the top there has a bit of a drinking problem
I
a
was
la
gonna say
Airplane.
that guy cannot
Yeah.
handle his wine.
Yeah,
Wow.
we'll consider that the off-color joke. He's spilling purple wine on a green shirt. That's the
Oh.
off-color joke. Well,
That's
we'll
never
leave it at
coming
that.
Oh.
Satab asks Han to see his blaster. Han is skeptical to give up his only means of self-defense until 4 spears are thrust in his face.
You
I
make a
love this.
compelling argument, Your Highness.
This reminds me of the Ewoks.
Yeah.
I like totally thought
Han,
of the
give him your
Ewoks.
blaster.
And the Satab takes it and sucks the youth out of his blaster.
It gets old and rusty and just.
I will Benjamin Button your blaster.
No.
I also love like his dialogue here when the spears go in his face because he's just like, "There you go, take good care of it, will you? It was a gift from my mom."
That's
All
so
right.
random.
Han then notices that another guest is sprinkling sansana on his food, and he thinks to himself, now that I know where it is, I know where it's going to be at this time tomorrow with me on board the Millennium Falcon.
I really appreciate Han narrating this for us.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yes.
Right.
Yes. He's doing his podcast. So that night, Han sneaks past the guards to find the Sansana. Suddenly, Chrysala pops out of nowhere and freaks him out.
I love these panels here. They're so fun. And it almost looks like Han is taking a page from Batman.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
That's a Tim Burton
Good
angle
shading
right
work.
over there.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really cool.
All right. Now, she says, you got to read this line.
You
don't need to read it like Sofia Vergara.
Okay, are you sure?
I'm
Okay.
positive. But if you want to, you can.
I
Oh,
can-
re-
I'm
re-
gonna default.
Read it like Robert De Niro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Chrysala looks like she went through some plastic surgery in between
Yes.
last night and this morning.
Yes. Okay. I thought you might come to me, Captain. I'm most flattered.
Hey, that was good.
Yeah, that was good.
All right. Where's Han looking in that middle
Whoa!
panel? Where's Han's?
What are we
where's he
talking
looking?
about?
He's not even being subtle about it. Like that,
No.
that eye line is right there.
He's not looking into her eyes. I can tell you that for sure.
Well, all I know is I feel like this has now become a horror comic because, I mean, look at her face and this top
Yeah.
panel here with her eyebrows way up like this.
Even
and-
Spock could be like, okay, calm it down with the eyebrows.
Yeah.
They're about
That's
to go all
crazy.
the way around, like spinning in place.
One thing I will say too is if these are her like it's the night here, so if these are her pajamas, if she's getting ready for bed, she's wearing more than when she went out in public.
Yeah, she's
That is
less
very true.
comfortable.
Yeah, I guess you can't really wear a metal bikini.
No, when you're sleeping.
Not that I know,
No.
okay? Not that I know.
Not that I
I'm
know.
not speaking from experience.
Sure,
but very
sure.
uncomfortable to wear at night, okay? Let's move on. Now, as Chrysala sees approaching guards, she pulls Han into her room. I bet she did.
I want
Yeah,
and she says, I want to show you the sunrise from my terrace.
I bet you do.
Okay, it's night right here, so sunrise is not for another couple hours. What are we going to do to fill those? Let's move on.
Yeah. You know how Han
She sits
operates.
him down. They're just playing Parcheesi for the next 6 hours.
Well, Han actually says back to her, sunrise. Well,
Okay,
Andrew.
well,
Well,
okay.
go
Oh,
ahead.
Andrew, you take this next Han Solo line.
You got the Harrison Ford voice.
The sunrise line.
Got it. Sunrise, but the sun won't be up for another 6 hours.
I know.
Ooh.
says.
Okay, now this is what I was referring to at the beginning of the segment here. I think this is the origins of the I know theme.
Oh.
I love
Oh,
you, I
shoot.
know. Okay.
Now, but wait a
I
minute.
like that.
It wouldn't be the
Oh.
origins because already
He
we
already
had
said
it.
Empire Strikes Back. Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is the continuation.
Continuation.
Yeah,
I
as in
know
of it
There you
becoming
go.
iconic.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
He heard that and he was like, wow, that's really cool. I should say that to a woman someday. I bet she'll be really into it.
Oh man, I already did.
Yep.
the origins of a female saying it to Han.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what I was referring
Mhm.
to.
Perfect.
I'll change it in the notes. All right, now as Han and Chrysala are racing through
Whoa.
the hallways of the palace, they are being watched by the Satab. He watches them through the shade shine, which enables him to see a projected image of them. Now, doesn't this look like the method Aquaman would call sea life?
Yeah.
He- woo, 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 woo.
All of a sudden, a bunch of sperm whales come exploding through the wall. Huh? What is going on?
Just like Kool-Aid Man, it's like, you called?
Yeah. Oops. Sorry, boys.
No, it was another method. I was, you guys go back, okay? I was doing something else.
Now I do have to say, like this page turn is like very jarring because it doesn't look like the rest of the comic. You know, you got all these reds and
Yeah,
stuff, but and then all of a sudden it looks like something from Vertigo.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
If Aquaman had vertigo, it
Yeah.
would look like this.
Exactly.
Now, my question is, what does the shade shine actually do? Is it just a
Well-
crystal ball, or is it kind of more than that?
You know what?
We gotta keep reading.
You know what? You'll see soon enough. But
Ooh.
we kind of got a little hint of what this shade shine can do,
Mhm.
and it ain't pretty.
Mhm.
Oh,
All right.
God. Okay.
Now, this Atab tells his assistant Plodget. Now, what do you think this guy looks like? This green guy.
Oh, the
Swamp
green.
Thing.
I was gonna say he kind of looks like a He-Man villain. He
Oh,
looks like
little
a servant of
bit, yeah.
Skeletor with like the strap, like half vest,
Oh, I can see that.
Okay.
like Merman or whatever that guy.
Did
is,
they-
like
did they ever
Fisherman.
Did they ever make Plodget into an action figure? Did Kenner ever get that guy?
No. Oh my goodness. But you know what you can do?
So-
You can go get a creature from the Black Lagoon and shorten his
Oh,
legs
yeah.
and put the He-Man straps on him, and there you got your Plodget action figure. Done.
Take notes, listeners.
All right, then Plodget says that he may be the perfect candidate for the next one.
What does it mean?
No, there is another.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
He'll
Now,
do wonderfully in the next FIFA game.
She put on another top.
Yeah, she
Oh
came
my
back
gosh.
and changed.
well, it is morning, so I don't know what
so she probably needed one.
I don't know what she was doing to that she would need a new top. You know what? That's what the imagination
I
won.
mean,
Well.
Han's vest is off. I don't.
When
I would like
Hans
to
vest
point
goes
out-
off, don't come a knocking.
I would like to point out she also did her hair. That's a totally different hairstyle too.
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
So we're now back in Chrysala's room. She's all sprawled out on this white fur couch. Now, where's all this white fur coming from? What creature had to sacrifice themselves?
They have like a Wampa reservation somewhere. That they're just
Oh,
like,
it's so hot on this planet. That's so inhumane.
I know what it is. Everyone has white hair on their head, but they all shave it off and donate it.
there it
Donate
is.
to Mr.
Okay.
Todd's
That's
furniture.
it. That's it. You got it.
Sarah just retconned the whole
You're a
hair issue.
monster. How dare you?
But now Han is focused on the rock that the Satab wears around his neck, which gives him the power of the shade shine.
Oh, there it is. I was
There you
as soon as you
go.
said focused on the rock, I went, Geode? He's here
Yeah.
too?
Yep.
He's back.
Hey, is
wish.
this shade shine anything like the Force I've heard about that I don't believe in?
I don't believe in.
Now, seeing that he is focused on this, she proceeds to give Han the background of the Satab.
Yeah.
Satab.
Satab?
Satab. Oh, no.
However you want to
Satab.
say it. You know
Satab,
what?
okay.
Han,
Spat
Han.
him.
Yeah. Now, he is the latest of their yearly rulers who have made use of the shade shine. So, after physical contact, the stone heightens one's senses, such as sight and touch, into transmitters as well as receivers. The Satab
Okay.
use this power to send Phalaf's metabolism racing, aging him decades in seconds.
Whoa.
I'm a little hung up on the phrasing of one of our yearly rulers. Is this like the alien planet in Futurama where there's like a different ruler every 3 days because the
Yes.
previous ruler keeps getting bumped off?
So now we
Oh.
see what's going on here. Every
Yes.
year there's a new Satab, whatever side of the sidewalk you're from.
Yeah. This also, Phil, you reminded me of Strange New Worlds. One of the episodes. is
Oh, yeah,
Children
yeah.
of the God or children, like where there's a planet that's run by the child.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. and, like, every so
yeah,
often they have
okay.
to like
Yeah.
replace
like every-
the child who's
Yep.
in there.
Yep.
But Han,
Great
he's
episode.
in line for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
But now, where do all these Satabs go when their yearly rule has ended?
I guess we're gonna
Mm,
find
You
out.
know,
I don't know.
this is a little off the point, I would say. But I imagine Satab election season. Like, imagine the smear campaign commercials that are just put on Ventuine TV or whatever. Just like,
Virilax will only age people 20 years if he's in charge. I am Satab and I approve this message.
So then Han asks her, so why do you stay with him?
Yeah.
And she tells him that she was just a poor peasant, and all she has to do is give him companionship.
In cute little
Mhm.
outfits, I guess. Now we
Apparently.
don't ever see her green heels though. I'm a little upset about this.
Hold on, we're
Aw.
not at the end right now.
Okay.
Wait, hold on, we have another 60 pages to go. Now, later on, the Satab takes Han, Chrysala, and the others out to see some of the local sites. They stop at a cavern where the Satab wants to show Han something he might find educational.
What does Han have against using stairs? Why is he always scaling and climbing things?
Because apparently he wasn't supposed to be out of his apartments. There was a guard there.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's like Aladining this.
Yes,
The
yes.
worst guard on Ventuine. Hey, Mr. Solo, you still okay in there? He sure is quiet.
Gotta eat to live, gotta steal to eat, tell you all about it when I got the time. Just jumping off the thing.
That's
I love it.
Womp-rat.
All right, now
Nice.
they come upon several workers cutting through the rock walls with mineral tools. The Satab wants to show Han something a little further and tells Chrysala to stay back. Oh, this can't be good. This can't be good at all.
No.
No.
Yeah,
No.
he signals Plodget, who throws a switch which releases a large purple monster.
A
So-
giant purple people eater.
Imagine a really angry Grimace.
You all took my shakes.
Give me back my purple shakes. I will not sleep until I get my purple shakes. And he says, grrr.
Now, Grimace, wait, is Grimace from
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
He's
He
one
is
of the
McDonald's.
original
Okay, okay.
characters
Wow.
in the
Mhm.
McDonald family.
He's so funny.
All
All
But
right.
he's making a comeback. I guess he's having like a 90th birthday. So now everyone is Grimace crazy again.
He was
Absolutely.
good for his age.
He does. All right. Well, Han needs to take matters into his hands now because he's always there saving the day, right?
He's got to be a hero.
So he throws a spear, and we turn the page, and the spear cuts through a stalactite, which then sends it dropping into the Grimace's neck.
Oh, so that's where Luke got the idea in Return of the Jedi.
There you
There we
go.
go.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
feels like an unnecessary step. Why not just hit him with the spear?
That's what I thought. So yes, I was reading this comic, and I looked at this page, and then I looked at this page, and I'm like, wait, what happened?
Well,
And I had to go back because it's on a page turn that he throws the spear and then the spear hits its target. And I don't like that. I don't like how it was an odd choice.
right, but
Don't worry,
yeah.
guys. I'll take this guy down. And he activates a mouse trap, which knocks over a series
Yes.
of dominoes, which throws a ping pong ball onto a cup, which weighs.
Yes.
which slings a candlestick at the stalactite, and
I'm a
It all
Rube
goes down.
Goldberg. This thing.
Now, with how good that throw was, is Han going to be trying out for the Galactic Olympic team anytime soon? Because he could be like a heck of a javelin champion right here.
well, he
I
will now.
watched those Olympics.
I would too. That's
So
awesome.
know what we need to do? Go get that Rancor scene from Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
And as Luke is looking at the skull, we cut in these pages.
Yeah. Wait
That's
a
it!
minute.
So there you go. I remember
was
what
gonna
Han
say.
was saying.
Mhm.
It cuts back to Han in Jabba's palace, just rookie move.
Yeah, just imagine, because remember, Luke, Lando, and 3PO are all listening to this narration, so he's just like, and then I picked up a spear and did a really dope move where I threw it through a stalactite, and it just slammed right into this giant purple people eater. Trust me, it looked awesome.
I can't stress enough how sick this was.
All right, now the Satab is pleased at Han's survival skills. He now believes they found the perfect choice for the next Satab.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Again, Han does not need this for his ego.
Now, wait a minute. Didn't Plodget earlier on say, hey, he's the next one? And the Satab now is saying, yes, he's the next Satab. Plodget's like, oh, man, you're going to get yours. You know what? Why don't you go stand under that stalactite? Hey, Han, here's the spear.
I need you to go, Mr. Purple Monster, I need you to go stand on that big red X on the floor for a second.
All right,
The
now.
Satab claims that Han Solo will be a good choice to replace him, but look at him. He's got hair. He cannot properly represent the interests of Ventuine.
He hasn't
Right.
shaved it for our furniture yet.
Logic, go get my Gillette. All right, now.
I am
Hey.
Satab, and I approve this message.
A worker spy hears this and reports to Vetter. Now, the little monk guy from earlier. Now, Vetter, of course, is the little monk guy from earlier, in case you're losing track of the characters.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Vetter tells the council that they have to end the evil reign before the change of power tonight.
Tonight.
Dun dun
tonight.
dun.
Whoa!
'Cause
All right.
it always has to be that night.
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
It can't be in a week.
Night.
What were they going to do if Han hadn't shown up? Like, did he have a backup Satab? Was it going to be like Plaget or whatever? Or
Hey, Plaget, guess what? Good news, bad news, Plaget.
You're bald. You'll do.
Yeah. That's a very good question, though. Yeah. Like,
Mhm.
And why does the change of power have to be tonight?
Because for dramatic purposes.
Oh, okay, I get it.
So that night, Han is summoned to a ceremony where the Satab and a bunch of hooded acolytes are waiting.
Ooh.
Oh, coming back to the acolytes.
Yeah.
The Satab
Mhm.
tells Han that after the courage he showed in the cavern, he proved to be a worthy participant. Therefore, he is sharing the wonders of the Shade Shine with him.
Ooh.
But first, they must deal with some uninvited hooded guests. And Vetter and one of his monks are one of those hooded acolytes.
Oh no.
Oh.
Caught in the act.
Now, can you tell? Like, hey, we got guys in purple robes and guys in red robes. Is the red robes the infiltrators?
I was gonna say, these guys saw a group of purple robes and went, "Oh man,
Yeah.
the invoice said red." Dang it, Ventrilius! You said it would be red robes.
So clearly this guy's standing out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just act casual.
All right, then Chrysella shouts,
No, and grabs Han's blaster.
and Han says to himself, Chrysalla, she's gotten a hold of my blaster. Not that she knows how to hit anything with it.
Come on, Han.
What? You
Come on,
haven't seen her
Han.
shoot. You don't know.
You don't know, and I mean, is this before Han met Leia? Come on, Leia's real good with a blaster.
She can hit a stalagmite as good as anyone else can.
Yeah, what is the placement of this story in Han's timeline? I think I'm a little unclear on that. Like, has he joined the rebellion, or is he just doing his smuggling stuff at this point?
Yeah, this is between Empire and Jedi, so you know
Well-
what? I don't blame Han. I blame the writers.
It has to be before Empire Strikes Back, though. Like that, all this happened.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. The book ending threads are between Empire and Jedi.
Right.
So yeah, of course, this is yeah.
Some kind of flashback, but
that's
we're
a good
unclear.
question.
But we're unclear as to.
I
Yeah.
think it was right after he left the ceremony because he was going to go back and pay off Jabba the Hutt. And we see him.
Oh,
running into
right,
Crimson
right.
Jack. I think this falls somewhere in that timeline.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, but but it would make sense that it would be before Star Wars
Yeah,
because having seen what Leia can do with a blaster.
right. Now he's
That's
looking at a
true.
woman being like, "Oh, you can't shoot. You're a woman." It's like, "Come on, Han, slap, slap, slap."
Well deserved.
So I want to take this moment to say sorry to all the ladies out there.
We
Yeah,
accept.
okay, good,
It's
thank
the
you.
writer's fault.
Mhm. It's the early 80s.
It's true.
Now, in the chaos, Han grabs the Shade Shine, and he and Chrysalla race away. The Satab witness this. The Satab witnesses this and knows he will have to deal with Chrysalla most severely after he's dealt with that alien fool. And by alien fool, he means Han Solo. It's like, wait, we're all the same race here. You don't need to call me an alien. You
If you think
alienist.
I'm an alien fool, you should see what I got back at the Millennium Falcon. I've left him with the door cracked for about 4 days now.
Yeah, I'm sure Chewie's like looking at the clock like, where is he?
Just bouncing a ball against the wall and catching it over and over again.
Well, he's got to be upset. I mean, he has a life debt to Han. He wants to protect him, and
Yeah,
Right?
but still, how long can you be left alone before it's like, okay, life debt is off, I'm out?
yeah.
Yeah. He
Oh.
left the keys in the ignition. I can fly away.
Yeah, huh? Just page me, okay? Page me when you're coming back. I'll return, I promise.
I was
All right.
gonna say the guards find Chewie and they're like, "Oh my god, so much furniture!"
Oh, so many cheese lounges.
Oh, well, look at all the hair. They treat him as a god. or as furniture.
Han gets back and Chewie is shaved from head to toe. He's like, our life debt is off, you jerk! What they did to me!
That would be so crazy.
Oh, that's a riot. Okay. It's funny to us, it's not to Chewie.
No.
All right. Han then tells Chrysala that he's going back for the Shade Shine Stone since it'll bring him a higher price than all the Sansana on the planet.
There it is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think this is before Star Wars because
Yeah.
he's reverting back to his old smuggler days.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is not the Han Solo that just saved the galaxy.
Right.
So
This is
that's a good
the
question.
one big score Han Solo.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Chrysala
Plus,
tells
I mean, if I don't get anything from this, I'm gonna have to go back to work for Jabba the Hutt, and no good can come of that.
Spoiler alert, that doesn't work out well for me in the future.
All right, Chrysala tells Han that the Shade Shine Stone takes a terrible toll on anyone who touches it, and eventually they burn out just the way the Satab has. What? Hold on. Chrysala tells Han that the Shade Shine Stone takes a terrible toll on anyone who touches it, and eventually they burn out, which is why the Satab has to find a successor. Oh, he only has a matter of hours now. All of the previous Satabs have gone into suspended animation with the hopes that the effects can be reversed. And this is Han's fate if he takes the Shade Shine Stone and becomes the new Satab.
Wow. So even if he
Okay.
touches it,
If
right?
he touches it, then his life is cursed.
Ugh.
So he can't touch it, okay?
I
So
don't
remember
wanna
that for later
question-
on.
I don't want to question the culture of Ventuine, but when the first Satab realized what the stone could do, why didn't he just smash it?
That's a very
Because
good question.
it brings a lot of power, only for 365 rotations.
Right.
I suppose. I think the cons outweigh the pros on this one, but that's just me.
I mean, imagine him finding out on day 365, like he just like keels over and somebody comes in like, "Oh no, Satab! Ooh, shiny! Oh!"
And
Dang
I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, then the new guy's like, "Hey Bob, come here for a second. Plodget, come over here. Touch this."
Yeah, put her there, buddy. Ah, gotcha.
Ah, it's
Yeah.
yours now! Runs off.
Sucker. Well, I think the whole point is they're naming a new Satab who will try to analyze and figure out a way to like reverse this
Okay,
thing.
okay.
So
And
that's
still keep
that's
the
why.
power.
You and your
Right.
darn logic.
Well, that's what they explain in the comic. I'm only saying that.
No, that makes sense.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
All right, but Han, he needs a couple of seconds to take all this in. This
Yeah.
is way too much information and exposition.
All right, but before we move on to the next page, I have to zoom in here to the top left panel where Chris
There it is!
There it is!
really looks like Leia's metal bikini here. So
Now,
Except she's got a
here's
cool-
you said
she's got
you
a
said
cool
this
red
came
cape.
out in 1982.
Yeah.
So more likely than not, George Lucas and his crew were well in the throes of filming
Filming.
Return of the Jedi. So do you think somebody picked this comic up off the rack, looked at this, and went, "Is somebody leaking things? What's going on?"
I know it was you.
yeah, I
Carrie,
don't know.
get Miss Fisher in here. Carrie, did you not sign an NDA or not?
Maybe they just did that photo shoot on the beach and the pictures were leaked or something. I don't know. But yeah.
George, it might have been me, but in my defense, I've never been okay with this costume.
but in her defense, in Carrie's defense, she did wear a gold bikini in Saturday Night Live in 1978.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
True.
Yeah, not this one.
But this, I mean, it's so similar. I feel like, did the artists here at Marvel have access to any photos or dailies of the movie?
Well, I just think, this is for Marvel in the day, scantily clad was the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's true. That is very
Glad.
true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, now Chrysala then takes Han into the Hall of Satabs, a place
the
where
planking
their
monks!
leaders go. Yes, this is where they go when they are near death. So now it all makes sense.
Yep.
But okay, hold on. If they enter the hall, then they will be rendered immobile, floating in a state of sleep-like suspension, like the other Satabs.
I would like to point out that all the Satabs look exactly the same. So what I'm wondering is, when they need a new Satab, do they just put in a call to somebody on Camino or something, just to be like, "Hey, we're gonna need another Satab."
You know that Kojak DNA? Can you put that back in motion?
Racket for Camino to run. Like, it would solve Ventuine's problem, and Camino would make some good cash on the side.
There you go.
Oh, that's a win-win for everyone but the Satabs. Now, as they peek in, they see many red-robed Satabs floating in the air. And of course, this is like the cover art. So this now goes, okay, now I see why they're floating. Now it all makes sense. But look in the deck down below. Is Han Solo wearing an N95 COVID mask?
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
I think he is. So Han is trying to tell us something way back in 1982. We just didn't listen.
Well, you guys don't know that is a symptom of COVID-19. You know, it's the trouble breathing. It's the sinus blockage. It's the floating 7 feet off the air, 7 feet off the ground.
Oh, boy.
That's
now,
so funny.
Suddenly, the Satab appears right behind them, holding up the Shade Shine Stone. Now, that is the name of a new cover band. The Shade Shine Stones.
Shade Shine
Stones.
Stone.
It's the Shade Shine Stones.
Which
I like that. I
Yeah.
can't get no.
Shade Shine. You can't get no Sansana.
There
it is.
go.
But then Han draws his blaster, which the Satab destroys with the help of the Shade Shine Stone.
Oh,
Han, no, not his blaster. Okay,
I'm starting to see why we like this rock.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
So Han throws this large stone statue head at the Satab. How? That looks like it's really heavy. This is where you need Chewbacca.
Yeah, I was gonna say you need Chewie for this kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, it's confusing the Satab because he says, "What? I didn't expect a physical attack." What were you expecting then? What were you expecting? How did you see this play out?
Well, you play a game of chess? Is that what you were prepared for?
Would Han attack without a weapon, like the acolyte?
No.
Oh, there it is.
A rock is a weapon. If it's a geode, if it's a boulder, Han says, take your rolling boulders out of here.
Again, cut to Chewie back at the Falcon. He's just bouncing a yo-yo up and down. Just sure wish I could throw some rocks at some dudes right now.
All right, now in midair, the Satab tosses it back and blows it up, sending debris everywhere.
Oh man!
Suddenly, the Satab's hand bursts into flames. He turns around to see that Chrysala has the stone.
Oh no!
Oh no, Chrysala! No! Lightning shoots from her hand, which shoots toward the Satab. He deflects it and sends the fire stream back at her.
And I gotta say, awesome, Chrysala, taking some action here. I like this.
Yeah, proactive.
And right now, Palpatine is saying, "Ooh, I could use that in the future."
Hello, I have here a lawsuit for Sith copyright infringement.
He would. That's some evil bureaucratic stuff right there.
All right, now the Satab senses are heightened to the point where he knows his sudden fate. He races for the Hall of Satabs, but Han tosses a boulder, which knocks him over.
My weakness!
Those boulders.
Yeah, the Satab turns black as he burns from the inside.
Ew.
And then there's a sun cloud of stench and smoke like a backfiring sandcrawler. He was gone.
Oh my gosh.
gosh.
What happened to the PG rating on this show?
I know. This progression of panels on this page, there's 6 of them. The Satab is like, glowing. Then he's holding his head. Then he's mouthing up to the sky. And then he blows up.
He's just a smoldering pile of charcoal on that last page.
Yeah.
Yeah, but according to the narration, it stinks. There's a stench to it. I don't want to be smelling no rotting flesh.
No.
Well, I've heard that things release whenever you pass away. So maybe that's what happened right before he burst into flames.
Oh, all right. Then how do you top that?
I know.
Vetter and the other monks race in and tell Han that he is the savior spoken of in the foretelling.
I'm sorry, Chrysala is the one that threw lightning at the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but-
very true.
But she's not a male.
Oh, apologies to the female Skywalkers again.
Very,
Yes.
we are very sorry. Okay, it was the early 1980s. Shouldn't have been done then. Shouldn't be done now.
No.
All right, now Han wants to celebrate that'll keep the whole planet hungover for a week.
Nice.
Didn't we all do that in college?
Yes.
Yeah.
However, Chrysala, she cannot go. She touched the shade shine, which means her fate will be like the Satab. And if she doesn't enter the suspension chamber, she will ultimately die in agony. There is no room to prolong the parting, and before she kisses Han, she promises that she will dream of him long in her slumber.
So, if Chrysala is entering into the suspended animation chamber at this point, we're essentially toppling the entire government of Ventuine at this point. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, so Plodget, guess what?
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, this is what I don't get. She should have 365 days to like use her power and
Exactly.
do stuff. And she's like, "Nope, I'm gonna enter the chamber now." I don't understand.
What they don't tell her is she has to shave her head first.
Oh.
Yeah. Before you enter the chamber, here's a Bic. The ladies' room is just down the hall.
I hate this planet.
Oh, she walks then into the chamber, and the large door is closed with a crack-like sound of a breaking heart.
That was very poetic.
Yeah, very. Han,
That is tragic.
It's my heart is breaking right now. That really got to me.
That's very poetic. I like it.
Han then heads back to the Falcon to make this record of his adventure and says that Vetter gave him the shade shine for safekeeping.
Whoa!
What?
Does that mean he had to touch it?
What happened there?
Yeah, I don't see Han wearing gloves with this.
No.
Exactly.
I hope he did.
But then Vetter says, Han, you'll know what to do with this.
Okay.
No, he won't. He wants to sell it.
All right, but Han is on the up and up here. He's learned from all of his experiences because he puts the shade shine in the Falcon's thrust tubes when he blasts away, and the stone is vaporized.
Oh,
It's
good.
vaporized,
Yep.
which ends the Satab's micro-minded reign.
There you go.
Oh, there you
So-
go.
Are the monks just like a democracy now, or
That's a very good question, and one
That-
that this comic does not answer.
Vetter walks out of the Satab's palace just like, all right, everybody, we're going to be making some changes around here. This is now a theocracy.
rule number one: red robes are in.
Yep.
Yeah, and everyone must now grow their hair back. Everyone, even you, Kojak.
There you go.
I like this new ruler.
Yeah, maybe we'll take Chrysala out of the chamber of suspension and leave the other guys in there, and let's roll that purple people eater in there with them. It'll take care of itself.
There we go.
Yeah, maybe he didn't die in that stalactite piercing of his jugular.
Oh.
Side note here, when Han gets back to the Falcon with this weird gem that probably he has wrapped up in something or whatever so that he doesn't touch it or whatever, what did Chewie think? Like, did Han tell him anything about this, or did he just go, we're going to put this thing in the engine right now, Chewie, otherwise I'm going to die in a year?
And Chewie's like, hey, can I see this?
Chewie,
That's
no!
Chewie, no!
Don't do it, Chewie.
All right, now we are back to the present day with Luke, Lando, and 3PO, and Vetter, he's there too, and Vetter turns off the recording of Han's voice. Suddenly, Luke, with a now very coiffed hair and very long eyelashes,
He's incredibly pretty on this page.
yes, he is. He hears incoming boots on flagstone and comes up with an idea. Right then, stormtroopers rush into the palace. A voice comes from a darkened room. If you want us, Bantha Breath, then come get us.
Is that Luke?
Yes.
Ah.
Now, if these stormtroopers, if they saw Home Alone, they would know this is a trap.
You guys
Come and
give up,
get
or are you
me.
thirsty for more?
It's 1982. They haven't seen it yet.
That's
True.
true.
No, yeah, another
The
8
storm-
years.
around the corner. There's a bunch of miniature like cars on the ground that they'll
paint buckets, broken Christmas tree ornaments. Yeah,
don't worry,
look out,
Captain, I'll get them.
All right, now 2 troopers enter and suddenly feel woozy. The 3rd trooper declares, "Holy crud, I ain't going in there."
I love this. I love this so much, this one trooper.
Yeah. He's the smart trooper.
Yeah.
He's got a greater
is the
survival
trooper.
instinct than anyone else in the Imperial Army.
Mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
I wonder if he's a better shot. Who knows?
Oh, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yes.
You are not appreciated enough, trooper number X-413.
All right, just then Luke leaps down and knocks the trooper inside.
Oh,
Very,
my God.
very Kevin-like. Kevin McAllister
McAllister.
coming to the rescue. All right, now the troopers and the Satabs are all suspended in the hall of the Satabs. Now, this should have been the image on the cover art. If I had seen this as a kid, it's like, give me this issue right now.
Was it the
Yeah.
stormtroopers?
Yes, you see stormtroopers in there with the Kojaks.
Okay.
Which you know who we don't see right now? Chrysala.
Oh.
No.
Well, I think maybe she's still in the ladies' room.
Well,
Yeah,
There's
that
a
would've been the
ladies'
past.
Satab chamber, and it's just her floating in it.
we don't see Chrysala, but then we turn the page.
No.
Oh.
Now, C-3PO comments that Luke had a brilliant plan of recording his voice on a memory stone to lure the troopers inside. So he tells you what had happened in case you weren't following the whole Echo Stone thing.
Yes.
Now, Luke says he was inspired by Han's story, and Lando says that Han wouldn't have lived to tell the tale if it hadn't been for her. And they all look up to see Chrysala suspended with the other Satabs.
Oh.
I am very heartbroken to see Chrysala here, but I'm also like, who's the nerd in the blue robe on the
Yeah,
top?
really. He did not get the memo.
That guy was Satab for 4 days, and they shoved him in there.
I know it hasn't been 365 days there, Coj, but come over here to the suspension chamber. Why don't you take a look inside? Yoink.
Oh.
He couldn't get on board with the red robes.
Yeah, man. This
Sorry,
is like,
you're out.
this suspension chamber is really good for your enemies. It's like,
Right?
You're annoyed
Yeah.
with anyone? Just, hey, come on over here. I
You're
want
not-
to show you something.
You're not killing them. You're putting them in
Suspended
Yeah,
animation.
suspended animation.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, with their
man.
adventure over, the heroes blast away in a single Y-wing. Not sure how 3 of them fit in a 2-person starfighter, but you know what? That's up for canon to argue about.
If you
Yeah.
zoom in on this panel, you can see 3PO hanging off the back, just
It's about the same level of respect they give him usually, so yeah.
right.
Very true.
Poor 3
And now, if you look deeper, you'll see the looming heads of Han Solo and Chrysala floating among the stars.
So
It also
creepy, this
appears that
panel.
Han is slowly turning into a chipmunk based on those teeth.
Yeah.
And he's also turning into one of the Osmonds with his big
Yes!
giant collar. Although they leave without obtaining the shade shine, they do leave with a special feeling of having had their lives touched once more by an old friend and by a new one. The end.
I just want there to be one more page, and it's just a single shot of Han in carbonite.
Oh.
It's like,
Just in
wow.
case you forgot where he was.
I'm sure wherever Han is right now, he's smiling down on us.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Woo.
With that, let's now talk about our favorites in this
Oh.
issue.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go with Andrew's name starts with an A and Phil starts with a P, so we'll go with Andrew first and then to
Alphabetical
Phil.
order, love it.
So,
All
favorite
right.
panel.
What's your favorite panel in this issue?
My favorite panel is undoubtedly the splash page where they walk in on the giant gold statue of Han and just him standing there in that Superman pose, the framing of everything. It's a great, great page. I love it. Carmine Infantino did some good work with that one. Love it.
There
Yeah.
you go.
That's the
There
one.
we go.
Asking you
Very
shall
cool.
receive.
Yeah.
All right, Phil, what is your favorite panel in this issue?
My favorite panel, it's actually kind of a series of panels, but as horrifying as it was, I kind of really liked the Satab's final death at the end. I love this grand dramatic, like, no, the stone, and his stumbling, yeah, arms up, head in his hands, and then finally bursting into flames. It's a good, like, it's a little violent for Disney, but it makes me think of like Dr. Facilier in Princess and the Frog. How am I ever going to pay back my debt? And it's this big like ramp up until finally he gets sucked down through the portal. That's the kind of the vibe I get from this. So it's a good big dramatic ending for a villain.
I like that. That's a good choice.
All
Richard, what about you?
I'm going to go with, on page 36, we see Luke, Lando, and 3PO looking into the hall of Satabs that now include the Stormtroopers. Why wasn't this the cover art?
Good art.
I bought the issue irregardlessly.
Right.
But still, had I seen this, maybe I would have read it instead of looking at the pictures.
True.
All right,
Sarah.
Yeah, for me, I really like page 31 when Chrysalis decides to fight back. And I just love the movement on this panel and how, she and the Satab are like trading barbs over here, and she's got her lightning bolt, and it just looks really cool. And
that is really dope.
She looks like Wonder Woman, I think.
Okay, I can see that.
I like it.
All right, now let's move on to the favorite line of dialogue or narration. And Phil, let's start with you this time.
I think the one that really sticks out to me is I love, wait, that's Han Solo? For the exact reason we talked about, which is, how many other Hans do you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, that really stuck with me. It's just like, wow, Luke, come on, buddy. Like, how many Hans have you met, especially on somewhere like Tatooine?
Well, I mean, you have to remember Hans Olo, who we met in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. All right, Andrew.
So, I don't know if it was one that we read in this initial thing, but when I was reading it, it was on the page like right after when Vetter shows up and is talking about, oh, that's Han Solo, the savior of our planet. And Luke says something to the effect of, why do you have a statue of Han, the famous smuggler turned rebel hero? And I'm just like, well, thanks for reminding us who that was, Luke. I appreciate that. So it's just that ham-fisted exposition I really enjoyed.
Yeah, and all characters will look at the readers like, is everyone on the same page now? Are we all good?
Yeah. Looking out at the listener.
In 82, Star Wars was like on the periphery. Like, Star Wars, what now? Oh, there's a new Star Wars coming out, Revenge of the Jedi? No, it was still on top of everyone's minds.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Sarah.
All right. For me, let's see, the favorite line of dialogue or narration?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to have you go first because our next ones tie into each other. So
okay,
you go first.
All right, I'm going to go to page 28 when Han says, and I saw Satabs, hundreds of them, all floating like ugly stars in a nightmare sky.
That's
a good line.
Yeah.
Ugly stars in a nightmare sky. That's such a heavy metal lyric.
Oh, yeah.
I can see Harrison Ford looking at this going, all right, guys, at Marvel, you can type this, you just can't say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, speaking of that, my favorite line of dialogue or narration is on page 2 when C-3PO is saying, I do apologize, Master Luke, but my mobility circuits just weren't designed for hair breadth escapes.
See, you can say that, I can't.
Why do we take you anywhere?
Yeah, right? Han left Chewie behind. We brought you.
I just think that was it made me laugh out loud. I was reading this comic and I just laughed out loud. So
even Anthony Daniels would be like, no, I ain't saying that. 3PO would never say that.
They really need to strap 3PO to a gurney or something, or like a moving trolley like you'd use for a refrigerator, and just like wheel him around places.
Well,
or
in
better
Empire,
yet,
he was right on the back of the Wookiee.
There we go.
But
or
no,
better
they
yet,
didn't bring Chewie this time.
Just bring R2. Like, legitimately, he's more useful on most of these missions than 3PO is. And don't get me wrong, I love 3PO so much. but there are very specific situations where C-3PO is useful, and I don't feel like this mission was one of them.
Yeah, that's the beauty of C-3PO. He's always he's always out of his element.
Right.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yes, lots of story there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Richard, this ties in. Okay, so your most non-Star Wars moment. What's your most non-Star Wars moment?
I'm gonna go to the same page. Don't turn it.
Okay.
This is when C-3PO apologizes for his lack of mobility, since his circuits weren't designed for hair-breadth escapes. That's my most non-Star Wars moment in this issue. So you see how this marriage works.
Yeah.
The yin and the yang.
That's true.
I love that. I love that.
So what is your most non-Star Wars moment?
Okay, mine would be on page 7 where we first see Han Solo dressed in his green.
I
Scarecrow hat on.
knew it.
And he looks like
knew
the
it.
Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz. Come on.
Wow.
Okay, we do this on our show all the time where I'll accidentally predict the future in comics too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did it. You did it. This
That's
is
so
totally the
good.
Scarecrow.
Nice.
Wow.
All right, Andrew, what is your most non-Star Wars moment?
Okay, it's gonna be a little bit weird here, but the whole time I was just thinking, is the shade shine connected to the Force in any way? Because it seems to be giving a lot of the same kind of Force effects, like throwing things around or shocking people, or I guess draining the life out of people if you include like video games and stuff like that in here. So I guess like the fact that the shade shine was in no way related to anything else in Star Wars and was just kind of its own little thing, that's what I would have to give it to, in all honesty.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
I'll buy
Definitely.
that. I really
Okay.
thought that was kind of tied into the Force myself. I was like, this feels odd that this is just a random magic stone.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
All right, Phil.
Did you have any?
Tied into yours a little bit, Andrew.
Okay.
Mine is the moment of, and I haven't played a ton of the games, so you mentioned this might be in the games. The moment where the Satab sucks the life out of an 18-year-old boy. It's just like, there's some brutal things that happen in Star Wars. I'm not debating that.
Right.
But to see this like 18-year-old rebel grabbing him by the neck and just draining the life away from him, turning him into the shriveled husk, that really felt like, oh my God, this has gone beyond Star Wars. I make the Mortal Kombat joke. I'm like, this is some Mortal Kombat stuff right here. This has gotten very violent.
Yeah, we'll leave it to the Indiana Jones franchise, but keep all that out of Star
Right,
Wars. The
yeah.
age progressing within seconds out of
We get
Star Wars.
lightsabers, but nothing like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, there are, and again, this is connecting to, like, the video games I mentioned before. One I'm thinking of in particular, Knights of the Old Republic. There is a dark side force power in that game that's called, like, Drain Life or whatever. So, like, a Force user is able to raise their hand and, like, this orange light comes out of it and, like, heals them, but, like, causes damage to the opponent. And so
Okay.
it's in Star Wars, kind of,
But this isn't connected to the Force. We've established this.
yeah.
This is something totally different. Totally
Wow.
out of the mystical realms of the
Yeah,
Force.
definitely.
Yeah.
Shade shine is its own thing. In fact, this whole planet had like stones, minerals that like did things when you touched them or touched other minerals to other minerals. So it's a very interesting idea
Yeah,
for a planet.
but the planet
Ventuine's
ties.
just a wacky place.
Yeah, it's like there's Tatooine and Ventuine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take my chances on Tatooine with twin suns.
Yeah, I'll take the desert over maybe stumbling into a suspended animation chamber.
Yeah, don't Benjamin Button me.
What's in here? Is this a supply closet? Just float away.
We lose more custodians in the Satab's palace this way.
There's like all the Satabs, and then just a janitor floats by.
A suspended
Oh, that's
animation mop and bucket, just like
Oh, Steve, I thought you quit.
Oh.
And he has that look like, oh,
Yeah.
Face. To tie into the Aunt May.
Oh, what about it?
At the end of
At the end
Spider-Man.
of Spider-Man Homecoming. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh, got it.
Before she got a chance
Yeah,
to
what the-
curse.
yeah.
What?
Nice.
That's the janitor's like, what the?
Yeah.
So when it's released, he'll he'll finish the word.
I got it. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Chrysala,
boy,
yeah, comes out of the chamber. At last, we former Satabs are no longer bound by the shade shine and will bring gloriousness to a new Ventuine. Steve, can you get on mopping up the one puddle for Miles?
you've had the year off. Get back to work.
Yeah.
All right, guys, this has been nothing short of a fantastic time.
Yeah.
Yay!
So
Oh yeah.
so happy you were able to join us. This has been
Oh yeah,
so-
we had an amazing time with you guys as well. Thanks so
So
much for
much
having us
fun.
on here.
I
Yes.
don't know when we've laughed this much.
I know.
Doing one of these issues of Classic Marvel Star Wars comics. Now, if the Skywalkers want to reach out to you and listen to your show, how do they reach out to you, and how do they listen to This Is So Graphic? This is Getting Graphic.
So you can find This Is Getting Graphic on your podcatcher of choice. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. You can find us just about anywhere. You can also find us on social media. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram under This Is Getting Graphic. And we're on Twitter /X/ whatever it is this week on This Graphic Pod.
And you can also find a lot of our stuff over on our TikTok, also at This Is Getting Graphic. I'm particularly proud of our TikTok. I like to consider it kind of our best of gallery of jokes from across a couple episodes that have really made us laugh. Just split up into like 30 to a minute and a half long clips. So that's a great way we like to make to reach out to people, give them a little snippet of what we do, and hopefully that draws them to listen to the full episodes.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll be following you guys on all those socials.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
I got my night set. I can listen to all these episodes that you were
Yeah.
telling us about earlier on.
Well, there you go.
That
Yeah.
sounds fun.
I will warn, since this is a PG show, on our show we do occasionally use some colorful language. But other than that, we're pretty open when it comes to like graphic novels and stuff.
Cool.
Mhm.
All right, yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, awesome.
All right, now let's take a hairbreadth escape
Yes.
from Classic Marvel Star Wars Comics issue, Star Wars Annual issue number 2.
Yay. With and everyone say goodbye with a forp.
Forp.
Shazam. Not what is it? Shazak.
Shazak.
God, what was it? It's like SCH Schlazat? Was it something like that?
Something close to that, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. Okay.
All right, and we're out.
Awesome. All right, you guys.
So if you guys can just hang on.